Fancy.
Carlos, so you are just a couple days. Yeah, let him dry off. It's done in excellent fashion.
I'm always in some form of wetness. Moisture.
I don't even know where to go with that.
It's true. I gotta be honest with you guys. You want me to lie?
No, I appreciate that. Well, Carlos, so you are a couple days out from another fight. I mean, I know it's kind of been up and down for you lately. What's the heart like? What's the head like right now? What's the feeling like?
I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to be here. Phoenix is like a second home for me. I trained out here and lived out here for a little while. I got a bunch of family and friends here. And I'm excited. I put together a good camp and got an exciting opponent, and you know, like I said, we're gonna have some fun.
Nice. Relatively quick turnaround for you. I'm curious, was it the opportunity to fight in Arizona that got you back so quick? Was it just because you wanted to build some momentum? Why?
Well, the last fight kind of sucked, and I felt like I got some of the ring rust out of the way, and I wanted to jump right back in. I didn't take any damage in the fight, nothing was hurt, so I kind of wanted to ride some momentum as far as being healthy. Matt Brown actually picked this date. I would have fought earlier, but he wanted this date, and now he's not here, but whatever, that's a different story.
Well, I mean, what happens is, you know, he ducks out. I mean, that was a fight that obviously a lot of people wanted to see for a lot of reasons. Was there any part of you that said, you know, maybe I shouldn't fight right now, maybe I shouldn't take, you know, a different guy on short notice, or was it even a consideration?
Well, I don't know if this is how other fighters feel. It's almost like the slacker part of me says, well, now you could just put it off for another month and you get a little bit more time to rest. But I put together a good camp. I'm ready. I'm ready to go right now. I peaked, and I'm peaking this week, and you know, I like the opponent. It's a good opponent. Like, style-wise, he's different in some senses, but ultimately he's a brawler. He brings it. He comes to fight. He comes to finish. So not a whole lot changed as far as tactics and game plan between Alex Oliveira and Matt Brown.
Yeah, last thing for me, I mean, that was going to touch on that as far as changes go. I mean, within the short time span there is, do you even bother with a different game plan, a different anything, or you just say, hey, what we were working on, let's just do that?
You know what? Not a lot of stuff changed. Some tactics, some like particular combinations, but it's nothing. It's like stuff that we just like kind of go through the Rolodex, like boom, boom. We've worked on this before. I think this will work well with this fight, and you know, let's see. But yeah, not a whole lot changed.
You mentioned sort of the ring rust and the Magny fight. In retrospect, did you feel like you had sort of had a layoff? Like, could you feel sort of
like in the fight? I felt it was odd. I felt like super like lazy and lackadaisical, and I didn't realize it until I was kind of in the midst of the fight, that I was like, ugh, I just kind of didn't have, I don't know what it was. And then I would start to get traction, and then yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't a great fight for me, and I don't feel like I was myself, and I'm really looking forward to this fight, getting out there and being myself again.
What was the reaction when you got the news about Matt? Was there any hesitation in maybe putting off this or not accepting a replacement?
Yeah, there was, and I talked to my coaches, especially after they gave us the option of Cowboy Oliveira, and we all liked the fight, and we got on the same page. And it was if there was any hesitation, it was brief.
Was there any other opponent name you got, or was it just Cowboy right away?
It was, yeah, no, it was. He was the first one that they mentioned, and we kind of jumped on it.
Did you watch his last fight?
I did.
What did you think?
It was a hell of a fight, man. Those guys, they fucking got after it.
And then your teammate Cowboy's fought him before. Do you remember anything he did in camp that you can pull from that?
You know, Cowboy doesn't do a whole lot different for each fighter. He trains the way he fights. He trains the way he trains, and then, you know, shows up and fights.
Go ahead.
How do you make sure you don't have that same feeling when you walk out this Saturday that you did when you walked out for Magny?
Well, I don't know. We're just gonna have to find out. No, but I mean, well, to answer your question seriously, a lot of it was in the preparation. I put in a legit serious camp. You know, I feel like I'm all in. I was all in training camp. Like I really pushed hard. You know, in the past, I've had really big fights and put really hard training camps. And this last one, I trained hard, but I don't think that I didn't. I don't know. I wasn't all in training, in my preparation, in my mindset. I've been all in for this fight since the beginning. So I think that's part of it.
did any of it have to do with the fact that you said you fought 15 minutes in a cage with someone, but you had no injuries, nothing from the fight? Is it the fact that you never felt in danger in that fight, or like?
Yeah.
Like Matt Brown, and you know you're in immediate danger.
There is that. Yeah, absolutely. Proximity to danger definitely brings out the best in me, and if it's somebody who's like threatening my safety and well-being, it definitely I think brings the tiger out. And Matt was that fight, and I think the fight with Cowboy Oliveira will be that as well.
You said before your last one that you were gonna do that one and then see how you felt afterwards, and that was coming off a long layoff. Now you say you're all in for this one. Is it the same type of mindset where you're just gonna do one and see how you feel afterwards, or do you feel like you're fully back in this?
Dude, I'm kind of cliche, but I'm focused on this one. Like this is what I got in front of me right now, and I don't know. I feel good. I mean, I felt good in training camp. My body feels good, so just have to see how it goes. But I mean, aside from winning the fight.
Did you know along the way last time that you weren't all in, or was it something you realized afterwards?
I mean, I think part of me realized it. Part of me knew it. Like I think subconsciously maybe. Right, you're up. They keep jumping in front of you.
I know. This is Desiree with MMA Fight Radio. So you keep saying that your mind wasn't all the way there. Whatever was on your mind at the time, or whatever was preventing that, do you feel like you have a lot more mental clarity now to be able to focus specifically on this?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
And what have you changed in your camp since that loss? I know you say you felt rusty, but what specifically did you change your focus on in your game? I put together some really good sparring partners, and I sparred more for this fight. So that's one like tangible thing. I worked quite a bit on with my strength and conditioning guy in an speed and explosiveness class with athletes from other different sports, like pro baseball players and pro basketball players, guys who are actually fast. Like and I'm not, yeah, I'm not fast like for a fighter. I mean, anyway. So I worked on my speed and explosiveness, and I think that was really, really helpful. And then I had a good group of guys surrounding me, and just the intensity that I trained, and what I put in, what I put on the line.
Can you extrapolate a little bit on your Arizona roots? I think when most people think of you, they think Carlos Condit, New Mexico.
Well, I came out here. I lived out here for. I think I moved out here in like 2008, and I lived out here for about a year and a half. I trained at Arizona Combat Sports with Bader and CB Dalloway and Jamie Varner for a while, for about a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah. And then a bunch of my best friends live out here, and then I got family. And
what do you think of the shape of the division right now with the interim title fight? Tyron said he could come back in July. Kind of caught people by surprise. There's an interim one, and then now there's Colby and RDA. What do you think about the division?
I haven't really been paying attention. Like that kind of came out of nowhere. I saw that, and I was like, what the shit? I didn't realize that Woodley's taking off time for his shoulder, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention, honestly.
Cool. Thanks, guys.